looking to recapture the sort of form that saw him lift this famous trophy on a couple of occasions.
7.
That was a fine red with the rest. Very tricky shot.
Yes, and a little unfortunate that he caught the middle pocket, that corner pocket bump. Left him with no option but to attempt the snooker, which he's got. It would have liked to have been on a colour, the black and pink free.
And for those of you just joining us, Higgins took a very scrappy opener with a couple of 30 breaks. Bingham won what was a very dramatic second frame, potting the final black to force a respot and then rolling in that respotted black for 1-all when Higgins had gilt-edged chances for 2-0, but the Wizard, as he's known, hit back with a half-century in frame 3 to take that 2-1 lead. This, of course, the final frame before the mid-session break. 6 is the target for a meeting with the defending Masters champion, Mark Selby, who won an absolute thriller earlier today against Mark Davis. 6-5, having led 4-0 and 5-2 at one stage. Selby had to dig deep, as he's famed for doing, to get past Davis and continue his title defence. Bingham, not surprisingly, cutting a rather unhappy figure right now. He's really struggling with his game.
Yes, and I'm not sure what he played there. That was an exhibition shot, if I've ever seen one. Attempting to screw the cue ball back to the baulk, using the cushion first.
1.
Can't believe I've ever seen a shot like that before, ever. And it's left John Higgins with a good chance.
And perhaps evidence that Bingham's concentration is shot to pieces right now.
7.
You would have thought that the manner in which he won the second frame would have settled the nerves, but it's not had that effect.
8.
Rather unhappy memories, Joe, Stuart Bingham will have of their last major meeting when Higgins whitewashed the man from Basel in Essex. That was in the World Open last year.
Yes, and it can have some effect on you as a player. And John Higgins just misjudging the speed of the table on his last
13.
shot. Attempted to get the right side of the blue to come back down for the reds. Had to go up for this red in baulk. And hasn't quite left himself the ideal angle here.
14.
But played that one well. Again, appreciated by the crowd. Played it with reverse side to get the cue ball out of baulk. Watch the cue ball there. Just enough side. Played for the red just to the right of the black spot.
70.
And if he gets this one, he'll play a little cannon to the red above it, and that clears the way for the black into both pockets.
$80. 25. 26. 33. 34.
Yes, nice recovery shot on the blue.
39.
Just left himself out of position again there, but recovered the situation nicely.
Just a few signs that Higgins is beginning
40.
to click into gear. He's had a bit of a love-hate relationship with this tournament down the years. Yes, he's won it on 2 occasions, but he's also bowed out at the first hurdle on 10 occasions. So it's kind of been all or nothing for the Wizard at the Masters.
45.
Well, 90% pot success is perfectly respectable. Bingham 76, well down on what he would normally produce.
46.
And it doesn't look as though he's going to get much opportunity to improve that stat in this frame.
Well, it was a very ambitious safety shot that Stuart Bingham was attempting at his last visit to the table.
53.
And it worked. I'd have been saying what a great shot.
54.
But it left John Higgins with an easy chance. So that left
61.
Bingham needing snookers.
$62.
Higgins on the cusp then of taking a 3-1 interval lead, and coming up in that mid-session interval we'll bring you highlights of our match earlier today between
69.
the defending champion Mark Selby and Mark Davis. Big break in that one,
70.
which you can enjoy with us during the 15-minute break before we return to the live action. Higgins a certainty now to have that 2-frame cushion. And Stuart Bingham
77.
has got to find a bit of form from somewhere. It's not been vintage Higgins, Joe, but it hasn't had to be.
No, Stuart Bingham been disappointing so far, but it can all change. He'll have a 15-20 minutes just to get himself together, and he needs to.
84.
This much more like it, though, from the 4 times world champion and former world number 1,
85.
who has slipped to 12 in the rankings after recent disappointments, but looks mightily determined to turn that lean patch around. And closing in here on what would be a 545th career century. Only Stephen
94.
Hendry and Ronnie O'Sullivan have made more. Well, it was a very tough green, wasn't it? And it very nearly slipped in. Higgins tried to give it a helping hand by jumping on the auditorium floor. Didn't work for him, but he'll be very happy nonetheless. And that mid-session interval couldn't come too soon for Stuart Bingham, who's had a chance to regroup. He's had a chance to have some mid-session refreshments and reflect on what's gone wrong so far. As we welcome our British viewers back to Alexandra Palace. Apologies for joining us a little late, but you've missed nothing at all. No balls down since the mid-session break. John Higgins having taken that 3-1 lead before the players went off to reflect on what was an up and down opening session, particularly for Stuart Bingham, who won frame 2 on a respotted black, but was otherwise well below par. Higgins, after a slightly shaky opening, has got better as the match has worn on. That break of 94 to take a 3-1 interval lead.
Yeah, Stuart Bingham, as Phil was saying, really has to up his game. Higgins starting to feel his game, going from strength to strength. Caught that one just a little thick, and it's shots like that Stuart Bingham really has to try and take advantage of. This is a difficult pot to the left corner, but well within his capabilities. Just not happening at the moment for Stuart Bingham. And finding the perfect line and speed with the cue ball. Well, that was a pretty good reply from where he was. And a kiss on the yellow. Takes the cue ball close to the cushion.
And Bingham will no doubt take some heart from the way in which Mark Davis was able to battle back from an even more precarious position this afternoon, trailing as he did 4-0 at one stage against Mark Selby, then fell 3 down with 4 to play before battling back to force a final frame decider, which went the way of Selby. But plenty of time for Bingham to put things right if he can rediscover a bit of form.
Cut off the left side of the reds. I don't think he can hit enough of the right side to take the cue ball back to baulk. Red behind the black, and couldn't have played it any better. Great escape from John Higgins. Could find himself back there, but that was an excellent escape.
Acknowledged by the man in your picture with a tap on the table.
Yes, that was always a big ball, that pink. But I don't think he's done any damage.
What Stuart Bingham urgently needs right now is a few easy balls to get his cue action going and get a bit of confidence, a feel for the pace of the table. Yet to make a half century in the match. Has lacked any kind of rhythm to this point.
Well, he's looking at the 3 reds there. Hitting the first one by the black onto the 2 closest together, and hoping that that one will go in off the other red. Well, this would be a good shot if it came off. Oh, look at that. What a great pot. And well spotted.
1.
Could that signal a change in Stuart Bingham's fortunes?
Well, that wasn't easy, the yellow, but he's nicely on this red. And the black is free.
3.
Now, ideally, he'd like to get onto that red just to the left of the black spot. The easiest red to play for is the one on the side cushion there. The black
11.
doesn't go now, so has to try and get the right side of the black. I'll play up for the blue, and he's under hit it.
12.
Played to catch the reds, but that's finished out okay.
17.
Very fortunate. It's still a tough shot, this.
Sorry.
No, hit the cushion much too
Stuart
close.
Bingham, 17.
Just give it too much to do. He was never happy with taking the shot on. Just doesn't seem to have any confidence at the moment. Stuart Bingham.
1.
John Higgins will be anxious to keep Bingham down. He'll be
8.
acutely aware that his opponent is struggling with his game right now. He's never lacked for a killer instinct, Higgins.
9.
And he's got the right side of the blue, so you'd expect him to open these reds here. And if this goes right... Well, that's so unfortunate.
14.
He's not on anything.
Scarcely seemed possible that Higgins couldn't land on a red there, having hit the cluster as well as he did.
It's so unfortunate.
From
Could
Higgins,
so easily
14.
have been 4-1 up there. And things worked out. As it is, he's played a good safety. Well, if it's resting on it, he's got the snooker. And that was a pretty good shot from Stuart Bingham. And this time, not quite so simple. Landing up to the red behind the black. Could leave reds on. That's the plan. And not a bad execution. Great shot. There isn't much he doesn't know about the game, John Higgins. Some people think he's the all-round player. I wouldn't disagree with that. Caught it a little thick. Doesn't want the kiss on the yellow, but he's got it. He's left the red on. And these are the ones that Stuart Bingham's been missing. He's got to get this one. Good pot. Well, pretty sure he expected to cannon something, but it's finished up okay. He's on the pink. Has to play this with a lot of left-hand side to avoid the baulk colours. Didn't get enough side on it.
Seven.
In fact, I'm not sure if he played it with any side. Well, that was an unfortunate kiss. He hadn't left anything easy for John Higgins. But again, you expected him to pot that.
So Bingham's lead just 10 points, but Higgins with another chance here to inflict some pain on the man from Basel and Essex.
And the pot success there at 75% for Stuart Bingham. It's just not good enough at the moment.
Six.
He'll be disappointed to this point that he hasn't brought anything approaching his A game.
Seven.
And equally John Higgins, who, as we've mentioned, has struggled for his best form in the last few months.
13.
He's such a good player that it would only take one good result, you feel, to turn things around for him.
Yeah, still lots of tournaments to go. this season. Started off very well.
Won in Antwerp, the first European Tour event of the current campaign. Runner-up in the Wuxi Classic in China to Neil Robertson. It's been a lot tougher since then, but signs here that his game is still very much intact. Sport at the elite level is so much to do with the mental side of things, and perhaps more so in snooker than most.
So 17 points in front. He won't be too bothered about the black going on to the brown spot. If he plays for it, that is.
28.
Got a nice angle to disturb these two reds, which would free the black spot. But more interested in developing a red. Nicely played.
Just going to double check.
And even if the black goes on its spot, can't stop the red from going in.
You heard Jan Verhaas, our referee, say to John Higgins, I'll just double check to see if the black does sit squarely on its spot. Delicate hand required.
35.
Because the red's to the left of the black spot, he was always safe.
36.
In fact, it was a bonus, black spotting.
Great chance now then for Higgins to move 3 frames clear of Bingham. Quick look
43.
at the scoreboard. 33 in front. When this red disappears, there'll only be 43 left with the black to follow.
44.
That man has a lot to do. You see, one more red will suffice
51.
for the wizard.
Yes, and he's left himself a little awkward. Wanted to be straight on that red that's out in the open there. But in it goes.
52.
The crowd know that was the key ball for the 2-time Masters champion. Ten times a loser in the opening round. Here's John Higgins.
57.
A surprising stat for a player of his class, but it's going to take something pretty special from Stuart Bingham to turn this one around. Really struggled with his game this evening. Higgins, on the other hand, getting stronger with every passing frame. This is third half century of the match. He made a 94 to lead 3-1. Snookered himself on the yellow. It's academic though. The break of 65, more than enough for John Higgins to extend his lead over Stuart Bingham to 4 frames to 1, which means Higgins requires just 2 more for a place in the Masters quarterfinals and a showdown with the defending champion Mark Selby, conqueror of Mark Davis earlier on today by 6 frames to 5. We'll have the next frame. Welcome back to the 2014 Masters Snooker. John Higgins going for a hat-trick of Masters titles over the course of the next 8 days. Certainly on course for a place in the quarterfinals, leading as he does against an out-of-sorts Stuart Bingham by 4 frames to 1. We've been playing, as you see, for just a shade over an hour and a half, and that man in your picture has really struggled. And there's another example, a long way out with that opening red.
Well, I can't believe how much he missed it by. Look at this again. Never threatened the pocket. Probably a little wary about bringing the cue ball away from the cushion and leaving reds on for John Higgins. But you've got to take those risks. The Black was available. Oh, it looks like it was to the right corner. There's a pot success, 73%, and that's why he's 4-1 down, Stuart Bingham. 91, it's more than okay for John Higgins.
Yes, 90% is the benchmark, really, isn't it, for these top players when it comes to pot success. So 74, a long way below what's required for Bingham to get the better of a player as good as Higgins. Bingham has scored just 34 points in the last 3 frames. But that's a good opening red.
Yes, he knew he was going to be on the green. Played that cue ball to the cushion just in case. But he hasn't played that one well. That was a terrible shot from Stuart Bingham. He'll be really disappointed with that one. It was a good chance and he snookered himself.
Sorry.
Big margin of error for Bingham, wasn't there, to get on his next red. Didn't hit the green with any real conviction, did he?
Well, he asked the referee to respot the green, which he did do, and it looks like he isn't snookered now.
Well, if you can see the edge of a red, it's a very, very fine margin.
Yes, and is it any good to him hitting it thin? Because if he takes the cue ball back to baulk, there's 2 reds up there. Is that waiting for John Higgins if he doesn't get it right? No, he's just playing into the back of them. Touch of right hand side on the cue ball.
Bingham full.
Bingham will be frustrated once again then. A good opportunity to get some points on the board in a frame he surely has to win to maintain realistic hopes of victory.
Yes, and it was a good red, wasn't it, Phil? You know, he knocked in that good red to the middle. Easy green, easy position, and snookered himself. Frustration is the name of the game at the moment for Stuart Bingham.
It's a tough, tough game when things aren't going your way.
He'd like to play the cue ball into the green pocket area, but it's full of danger. That could leave a red to the left middle. That's a very good safety. Took the risk on heading the cannon to the yellow. attempt at the double. Just trying to get that cue ball tight on the cushion.
Touching.
Yes, didn't really want it touching. So no chance to get that cue ball tight on black cushion. Well, he needed it to be dead on the cushion. Played to put the cue ball on the side cushion rather than the black cushion. The only problem with that is it gives John Higgins a chance to put this cue ball dead behind the black. He's underhit it by some distance. And he's left a red on. I think the red next to the black will go to the right corner. So easy to underhit things on a super fast table. But again, Stuart Bingham misses. It wasn't easy, but he misses the shot he should have got.
And that, I'm sure, the result of so little table time. Bingham has never really had his hand on the table in this match.
Yeah, just looking at that red again, it looked like he got a little kick there, you know. The red seemed to straighten it up. There's the pot success again.
One.
Well, one good pot on the black, and Higgins could have Bingham in all kinds of bother again. No wonder he's shaking his head. This is not the start to 2014 that Bingham had in mind. The higher ranked player, remember Stuart Bingham these days, ranked 7 in the world at the moment, following some very consistent results in the past 18 months or so. Higgins, who, as we've mentioned, has been out of form, down at number 12, which is scarcely believable for one of the all-time greats to be outside the top 10, but I'm sure he has designs on getting right back to the top. Higgins 38, Ronnie O'Sullivan turned 38 just before Christmas, and we know what O'Sullivan did at the Crucible last spring, winning his 5th world title, one more than Higgins. So no earthly reason why this man shouldn't recapture the old magic. And the Masters would be a pretty good place to start.
70.
Yes, there's certainly good signs there for John Higgins.
80.
Made breaks of 50, 94, 65 in the last 3 frames. Every chance of making a decent break here.
$23. 24.
Aside from the 48 break from Bingham in the second frame, which he won, of course, on a respotted black, he's failed to make anything more than 20 something.
31.
Yeah, so when he takes this red, there's a red in the middle of that cluster that will go to the left corner. And that will really open things up. Oh, he nearly missed that.
32.
And that cue ball has just gone a little bit too far. Didn't detect a kick.
Certainly pinched every last millimetre of the pocket.
Good angle to go into them. Or play up for that red in baulk. Chose to go into them and it's worked out nicely. He's on a red to the right corner. Should be able to move up towards the blue.
39.
Some nice action on the cue ball there.
$40.
Mark Selby, remember, awaits the winner of this one in the quarter-finals. Selby having seen off a fine comeback earlier today by Mark Davis, who trailed 4-0 and then 5-2 to win his 9th final frame decider at the Masters in 9 attempts. Extraordinary statistic in favour of Selby, to underline just what a tenacious, resilient character he is under
51.
pressure. Selby chasing his 4th Masters title
52.
over the course of the next week. Higgins is 3rd.
Yes, he's down in the doldrums, isn't he? Knows he's going to be 5-1 down.
That
57.
looks a certainty now. Red in a high value colour.
58.
Well, Bingham can only tie if Higgins pots the blue.
$63.
Yeah, it's a quick glimpse at the scoreboard. Tells him he just needs the red. Bingham already knows. In it goes.
64.
So another frame-winning
69.
break this for John Higgins.
$70.
And that's the key, isn't it? To punish your opponent's mistakes in clinical fashion.
Something that Stuart Bingham hasn't done. He's had chance to, because John Higgins was missing
77.
the early part of this match. But now fully in control. A little nudge on the red, develops it. No reason. He shouldn't make a century break now.
Came close in the 4th frame, breaking down on 94.
83.
But Higgins has just got stronger and stronger.
84.
This is much more like the sort of player that has lifted those 25 career ranking titles. 4 of them world titles, 3 of them UK crowns, 2 of them Masters.
89. 91. 94. 100. 98.
His highest break of the match. Stand by for the applause.
103.
The crowd enjoying this display of skill from Higgins. And what a pot that was on the pink.
109.
Century number 545 of a glittering
109 in
career.
frame.
And he's not going to bother
John Higgins.
with the black. John Higgins in imperious form then, as he storms into a 5-frames-to-1 lead over Stuart Bingham. This the 7th, the point of no return. Higgins requiring just 1 for victory.
Yes, and who knows, this long red to the right corner could be the shot and maybe forced into taking it on. The black's available. It's a tough shot, just off straight. But if it goes in, you never know. Well, wasn't close to it. Don't know why he didn't roll it in for the black rather than stun it in. Couldn't leave a red on.
One.
So, chance. Stuart Bingham.
Well, to some extent, the pressure's now off Bingham, isn't it? He's a very long shot to turn this match around.
6.
Well, that was the first good attacking shot he's played for a while. Played a good cannon to those 2 reds, knowing he was going to be on this one.
7.
And when a player is faced with defeat, sometimes they just relax a little.
A couple of youngsters in the crowd, enjoying
14.
a bit of camera time.
15.
Bingham desperate to enjoy a bit of table time. He's had precious little of it throughout this match. His highest break, remember, just 48 in the 2nd frame.
Well, that was again a good attacking shot, developing red, staying on this red to the left corner.
23.
And he's got the reds nicely placed now. And he just seems to have a little bounce in his step now all of a sudden, Stuart Bingham, even though he's 5-1 down.
Well, a tall order, to say the least, to win 5 straight frames against
28.
a player of John Higgins' calibre, but it's been done before.
Well, we nearly saw it today, didn't we, Phil?
29.
We did. Mark Davis 4-0 behind against Mark Selby, who barely put a foot wrong before the mid-session interval.
I think he was 5-1 down as well, wasn't he?
5-2, I believe it was, but it was a great comeback from Davis. And Selby, to his great credit, managed to put the frustrations of
36.
being pegged back to 5 all behind him in the decider. Bossed that one, really. Although it took him some time to
37.
finish it off.
Well, his pot success has gone up a percentage. It's now at 78.
Yeah, suddenly Bingham has struck a bit of rhythm.
Yes, it was that opening red that John Higgins attempted. Played to stun the red in. Is he too high? Oh, it just dropped in. It looked a little high, that.
52.
And he would have left a red for Higgins into the opposite corner had it stayed up.
53.
Sigh of relief for Bingham. This could so easily have hung on the lip of the pocket. goodness, it thought about it, didn't it? It's all relative, of course, but my impression of the early exchanges in this
58.
Masters tournament, Joe, is that the pockets are playing, relatively speaking, pretty generously.
Yes, I didn't think that one was in, and there
59.
was a couple earlier that hit the other angle and still went in. They're not big by any means, but you wouldn't exactly call them tight either.
No, by club standards, they'll be microscopic, but professional game is a very different kettle of fish, of course.
So still needs another red, and deciding to go into them. Well, he's on one to the right corner.
66.
Easily Bingham's best break of the match. Can he make it a frame clinching one? Should do.
67.
Yes, and when he pots this black, no reason why he shouldn't make a century in reply to John Higgins in the last round. In the last frame, should I say.
109 from Higgins to move 5-1 in front.
74.
Bingham was visibly relaxed in this frame.
75.
He's still got a long way back. Higgins will be detained for at least one more frame, that's for certain now.
82.
Big break for Bingham in the offing.
83.
221 career centuries to his name.
$90. 91.
And this break has only been going for just a shade under 6 from the Basildon potter. Well, no century.
91 from the frame.
Bingham then breaking down on 91, missing a black off its spot, but at least he has another frame on the board, courtesy of that fluent contribution of 91, but John Higgins is still just one frame away, leading as he does, 5-2. Stuart Bingham has stopped the rot then from 1-all. John Higgins powering away to a 5-1 lead in this first round match at the Masters. Bingham with a break of 91 by a country mile, his best of the match so far, has closed the gap to 5-2, but he's got to win another 4 on the spin to deprive Higgins a place in the quarterfinals and a meeting with defending champ Mark Selby. And that is not the way to do it.
Well, this is John Higgins' chance. Expected to miss that red on his return to balk.
One.
So he'll be looking to leave an angle on the black here to disturb the reds. Doesn't appear as though a red goes after this one.
Nine.
Now he's left the angle. It was a good split. But it was never going to be easy to develop the reds.
16.
Possible red to the balk corner. Could have landed so much better. He went into them with power.
From Higgins,
Yes, it was never
16.
easy. And Stuart Bingham with a similar shot to the green pocket.
Plenty of Bingham fans in the house willing their man to produce what would be a spectacular comeback.
And in it goes. He just looks a different man now, Stuart Bingham. Tough pot. And this isn't the gimme either. He's hit it too thin. Too thick, should I say.
Stuart Bingham 1.
Managed to cover the pocket. But he'd rather the black dropped.
When you're 5-2 behind and requiring all 4 of the remaining frames, they're the opportunities you've really got to capitalise on.
Well, there's a possibility of the double with this red. And if he plays it with a little bit of screw, I don't think he could leave anything. But he doesn't like it. The red over by the right side, the right middle pocket. Looks like the double kiss is on for the double there. Well, that's a pretty good safety. And where that red's finished over the left middle, it makes things very difficult for Stuart Bingham. He may have to play on to that red, but he would leave a double then. All kinds of things going through his mind now, and there's no easy shot. He could try and skim off the reds, try and leave the cue ball on the left side cushion. But again, it's dangerous. That is an option. But again, it's dangerous if he hits it just a little bit too hard. He shoves it over the middle pocket.
No wonder he's taking his time, because the next error could prove to be Bingham's last.
Is it hard enough?
There we are, 2 hours of match play. We had 5 hours this afternoon between Selby and Davis. Value for money for a packed crowd at Ali Pali. Is there to be a similar comeback from Bingham, or can Higgins polish him off? Selby edging that one, remember, 6-5. He awaits the winner of this match.
Doesn't want that cue ball in the pocket. Oh, and it was so close. But that's trouble again for Stuart Bingham.
Touch him.
Bingham then already deemed to have hit a red. He can play away from the cluster.
Well, that is an option.
Not one he's taking by the looks of things. Last thing he needs is an inadvertent foul right now. Just cozying up to the black.
Yes, I'm surprised why he didn't play that shot last time round. Stuart Bingham, he could have got the cue ball there.
It was a defensive safety, wasn't it, which perhaps belies his state of mind right now. Low on confidence.
Oh, he's played a plant. Oh, dear.
Never rains, but it pours. The red goes in, but the black goes in as well.
He played the plant. He just couldn't get that cue ball away from the black. And now.
So following the foul shot then, John Higgins with a 22-point lead in the frame he needs to move into the quarterfinals.
Yes, and I was about to say, and now we know why he didn't play up the table, Phil. He was leaving that plant on. John Higgins didn't spot it. Played the safety.
And gradually those reds are opening up.
Again, that's a very crafty safety shot that John Higgins has played there.
Well, there are a few better tacticians in the game. Knows every inch of that table, Higgins. Loves to tie his opponent in knots. He's made a career out of it.
Well, he might be forced to take him one on here, Stuart Bingham. That red to the middle. Well, he had to take it on, I thought. And he's left one. Well, he's left a couple. Now, can he survive this? He's 22 points behind. And that missed red gives John Higgins a great chance for frame a match. Could have done without the kiss, but he's on the yellow.
Yellow. Three.
So what a great chance now for John Higgins. Go through to the next round.
Four.
And if he does play Mark Selby, it'll be a repeat of the 2007 World Final. An epic, which Higgins won, of course. Scarcely believable that that's nearly 7 years ago.
11.
Where does the time go, Joe?
Tell me about it.
12.
£40 in front. Quick glance at the scoreboard. Tells him
18.
there's enough loose reds there. Without playing him any
9.
of the difficult ones.
And make no mistake, if he does complete the job here, this will be a big win for Higgins. It's no secret that he's been struggling for form and confidence.
24.
But to beat Bingham in convincing fashion, a player who's been very consistent in recent times, well, that would be a real confidence
25.
booster for the Wizard of Wishaw.
Could have done with that cue ball just travelling another couple of inches. Being the right side of the blue. He missed a red like this earlier on in the match. Caught the near knuckle. Made sure it went in the middle, that one. So for me, this is Stuart Bingham's only hope. This red not going in.
30.
Powerless to do anything about it, of course. Can only sit and hope.
$31. White again. Yeah.
Higgins taking no chances. Spotted a foreign body on the cue ball. As that red goes in, he's edging his way closer to a place in the last 8.
Yes, a lot of players would have run that red in, played off 2 cushions, but John not afraid of leaving himself a more difficult black, but he's missed it
John Higgins.
and given
31.
Stuart Bingham a chance.
Well, there's no doubt that Higgins has been a little more prone to errors like that in recent times than in
1.
his heyday. Very rare for him to miss a effective match ball. Still a lot for Bingham to do to get back into this frame.
Yes, but a chance to bring these
7.
2 reds off the cushion. Or at least one of them. There's one of
8.
them. Could take the black here. This is the black that John Higgins missed. Surprising black.
And visibly angry, wasn't he, at himself for missing that kind of ball, the sort of ball he used to devour with relish.
Well, tried to bring the red off the cushion, and it's worked out very nicely, that. He's finished on the red into the green pocket.
14.
Could have gone wrong, couldn't it?
I'm not sure if he did intend to bring it out, but he has done.
15.
And if Bingham could somehow steal this frame, well, that would be a psychological blow for Higgins. Yes, he'd still be favourite. 2 up with 3 to play, but having had a chance to close it out would certainly give him something to dwell on.
Yeah, still a difficult 2 reds there. Green, difficult. Brown, difficult. It's going to be a good
22.
clearance. He's going to play the double here.
Nowhere near.
Stuart Bingham. 22.
No position either. Back in the frame at least, to some extent. Well, there you see Higgins with that 31-point advantage, but still 43 on the table.
Very nearly found the middle pocket there, Stuart Bingham. Now, doesn't want to bring the green into play, but has he got any choice? Well, just avoided the double kiss. But a half chance for Stuart Bingham. Don't forget, he can't afford to miss. Higgins just needs the red and the colour. Where's it going to go?
One. Six. Stuart Bingham, 6.
But just short of legs. Well, I'd be surprised if he took this red on. Fairly easy safety shot. Send the red across the table behind the black. Just had to miss the pink. And this could be frame a match ball.
And I bet he wishes he had taken the red on now. He can't believe it. Great chance for Higgins. Just a red and a highish value colour, and he'll be into the last 8.
Well, was that pressure? He's got away with it as well.
2 chances now for Higgins to put this match away then. Both have gone begging.
Well, that little kiss on the green and then the one on the yellow has left Bingham full ball snookered on the red.
Yes, Bingham in a world of trouble now. Not only has he got to hit this red, he's got to leave it safe. And he'll be trusting to luck to some extent.
Well, that was a good escape. And this time, Bingham's turn to get the good kiss on the blue. Doesn't want to bring the brown into place, John Higgins, but again, has he got any choice? Well, at the risk of leaving the red on, he doesn't bring the brown into play.
Normally Bingham would sink this, but there's a lot of pressure out there.
You called it. There's a lot of pressure, and that wasn't a good kiss for Stuart Bingham. A red and any colour.
Well, that's 3 opportunities now for Higgins to effectively seal the match. They're the kind of things that can sometimes come back to haunt you. Bingham a long way behind, of course. Even if he wins this frame, he's still got to win 3 more on the bounce, but it would be a big blow for Higgins if he were to lose this frame, having had so many chances, Joe.
Yes, long pot success there at 38%. For John Higgins is pretty low.
Bingham miles out himself, though, from distance on that red. So the difference is 25. There are 35 left.
Well, the long pot success wasn't good either. Not helped there. Well, he hasn't left the red on, but he's going to be snookered next shot. Half ball on the red, anything but full. Half ball's good. But he didn't want that kiss on the black. Now, can he see enough of this red? Can he pot it if he can?
It's pretty close to the cushion. It's not an easy pot by any stretch, even assuming he can get through to the potting angle.
And where's the next colour coming from? Well, it wasn't easy, as you said. So again, this red, any colour. He caught the last one thick. John Higgins, similar type of shot, caught it thick. Caught that one too thin.
Well, the crowd oohing and ahhing. A lot of tension out there. Even for a player as decorated as John Higgins, you still feel it.
Didn't want the kiss on the pink. But this is a difficult pot, but worth going for. If it goes in, any colour will do.
Undercut that by a distance, didn't he? But he's got a decent consolation prize.
Well, he did play the cue ball, to be fair to him. Full ball snooker. Same scenario. Has to hit it and get it safe.
And neither of those objectives are straightforward by any imagination.
Well played. He's hit it and got it reasonably safe. It will take a good pot to pot this red.
He's hanging on grimly, isn't he? So close to defeat. But if he can somehow come out of this frame in one piece, who knows? But there's another great safety from Higgins.
Yeah, he's in trouble again, isn't he? And this time a lot more difficult to hit. Could just land up to it off the 2 cushions. Is it hard enough? Excellent escape from Bingham.
Acknowledged by Higgins with a tap on the table. He's not going down without a fight, that's for sure. Wow, he's missed the red altogether there, Higgins.
Has he left a free ball? He has.
Free ball.
An unexpected turn of events with Higgins failing to hit the red at all. How costly will that prove? Immediately owned up to it.
Well, trying to develop the brown. How unfortunate is that from Stuart Bingham? To play the screw shot to the brown and not leave it on to the right corner. Well, he's got to play the snooker now. Just drift in behind the yellow.
Stuart Bingham 1.
Chose to play him behind the brown, but he's missed it.
This is already, by a distance, the longest frame of the match. Absolutely critical one, of course. If Higgins wins it, he's through. But if Bingham should win it, after Higgins has had several opportunities to put him away, well, who knows?
Well, that's the plan. Try and leave the cue ball where the red is. And it looks good.
Good hit from Higgins.
Yeah, some good stuff coming out from both players here. Some very good safety. Didn't want to catch the red. Wanted to come in behind it.
Well, Higgins has had a lot of opportunities to put this frame and match to bed, but none better than this one. And this time the red does go in. The lead is 21. Not ideal on a colour.
Yes, the brown takes him to the yellow, and the yellow should be enough. Not sure if he can hold for the yellow from the blue. He thinks he can.
Blue.
That's the key shot then.
Yes, what's bothering him about the brown is the black there, who would have to play it with the rest, I feel. So the blue it is.
Just needs blue and yellow.
Well held.
Yes, that was nerveless from Higgins. The good safety created this opportunity, forced the error from Stuart Bingham.
Not over yet, though. Only one snooker required. You'd love this green to go in. Well, no attempt at it.
John Higgins 8.
So 28 points the difference with 25 remaining. Just the one snooker required for Stuart Bingham.
Surprised they didn't push the green right over the pocket there. Make him pot it and move that brown, because the brown is in a good place for snookers, as is the pink.
The double kiss not fatal on this occasion for Bingham.
Cross doubles on. And again, no attempt at it. Well, the most important thing when you're playing for snookers is get the object ball safe. What a great attempt at the snooker. Two inches harder would have been a very difficult snooker.
Well, has he swerved it too much?
He's okay. No, he's not. He's missed the green. I
Stuart
thought
Bingham
it was
4.
going to check off the cushion, but he swerved it too much, as Phil said.
So, Bingham gets the snooker he needs, and the drama continues here at Alexandra Palace on the first night of the Masters. Higgins so close to the quarterfinals, he can taste it, but he's not quite there yet. And if he loses this frame...
Yes, he was there a moment ago, wasn't he?
Psychologically, it would be a blow.
He refused to push the green over the pocket twice. Good safety from John Higgins.
Yes, there's been nothing wrong with his tactical game this evening. .24 the difference, 25 there.
Well, I don't think he played the double. I think he played to send it round the table. And I don't think Stuart Bingham believes he played the double.
No, that shake of the head told the story, didn't it? A slightly anticlimactic way to end what has been a very edgy frame.
7.
John Higgins with a hatful of chances to close it out much earlier than he has, but the important thing for him is that he has, barring something extraordinary. 31 the difference, 18 left, and Stuart Bingham offers his hand. Well, that's a big win for John Higgins. It's been a struggle for him in recent months. He's been a shadow of the player who won this title twice before and has been 4 times world champion. But he got stronger as the match wore on tonight against an admittedly completely out of sorts Stuart Bingham. And it's a comprehensive victory in the end for the Wizard of Wishaw. Higgins is through by 6 frames to 2, and his prize, a quarter-final showdown with the reigning Masters champion, Mark, the Jester from Leicester Selby.